Well, as ever, the sort of hysterical tone of mainstream media hasn't learned anything when it comes to actually interpreting President Trump. As Nigel Farage has said many, many times, you should take Trump seriously, but not always literally in what he's saying. I'm going to lay out in this video what I think the reality is. Some of the facts, by the way, not exactly been highlighted fairly by mainstream media. Before I get to that, though, in terms of the British government's position on what Trump has been talking about, I don't think they're in a position to criticise, given what has gone on with the Chagos Islands, where, of course, our government, for some bizarre reason, have decided to hand sovereignty of the Chagos Islands to Mauritius, something that Labour are forcing through Parliament at the moment. And of course, for that privilege, we're actually going to pay Mauritius £100 million a year to lease this back, something that those governing the islands have consistently expressed concerns about in terms of this deal, especially over the implications for former Chagos residents. Now, the British government doesn't seem to give a damn at what they think, but of course, very outspoken when it comes to Trump and Greenland. And by the way, let's look at what Greenlanders actually think. I've looked into this. I've not seen this reported really anywhere else. Actually, yes, the majority of people in Greenland do not want to be part of the United States, but actually, a majority, 56%, would also vote for independence from Denmark if there was a referendum. Only 28% in that poll, in that research, would actually vote no to independence from Denmark. And actually, very prominent politicians in Greenland have also said they want independence from Denmark. So the picture is a little bit more complicated than some in mainstream media would want you to believe with their constant anti-Trump bias. But let's look at what Trump is actually doing. So what I believe is actually happening here is this is all posturing, it's all trying to maximize leverage, and the reality is here that the Americans want to do some sort of financial deal to purchase Greenland, to have some sort of cooperation there in the future. And you can see that Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, actually downplaying military action behind the scenes and saying that in reality what this is about is trying to pressure Denmark into negotiations and aiming to buy Greenland. Now, the reality is where I think this will end up is I think there'll be some sort of cooperation deal between Greenland, Denmark and America. But I think it's important there to look, past the sort of hysterical tone, as I say, of much of the ridiculous mainstream media now that's very surface level. I think that gives you a bit more insight into what I think Trump's actually trying to do and what I think the actual deal and end outcome will look like. But please do let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Please do whack this video a quick thumbs up. And of course, as ever, cheers for watching.